welcome to today's session on Construction Online 201, turning your clients into happy, profitable clients, something that we all want. My name is Rachel Pickens, and I'm here with Amanda Thomas.
Hello, guys. Happy Wednesday.
And today, really, our goal is to help you really learn how to take advantage of the client link tool that's available to you on Construction Online Pro. So really the focus of today is going to show you how we can take the project that you've created or uploaded or used on Construction Online, and we're going to show you what we have available to you to really allow your clients to log on and see. We all know that it's important to have a great client relationship, so it's important to keep them updated, to keep them feeling involved, to build their trust with you, or to build trust in you as well. So certainly the goal here with Client Link is to give them an easy way to access important project information online. So it's accessible anytime they need it, and it's completely up to you as to what you make available. And it's the nice thing about it is that it's really easy to do. So our goal today is to help show you what's available on Construction Online, equip you with the tools that you'll need to take advantage of this, and really kind of leave you to get started and work on those public profiles and really get that in place. We also are really going to talk about the public profile, which is really going to be the front door for your clients. So again, a great way for you to really push or to kind of offer that as a way for existing or potential clients to even find your website. So we have a lot of neat tools in store for you, and we're excited to show you all about it today. The last thing we're going to actually touch on is one of the most exciting tools that we have, or at least from our clients. A lot of people are really interested in the custom mobile app that we have available for your company with any Construction Online enterprise account. So we'll show that off later in the session today, so you can actually see how you can have your own custom company mobile app for iPhone or Android available to hand out to your Team Link contacts, who would be your subs, but most importantly, your clients. It's definitely a great way for you to stand out from your competition. So let's go ahead and get started. Amanda, let's jump right in.
Awesome. So the first thing that we'll want to do is to go ahead and get logged in. We are logged in now as at Pickens Construction as Rachel here. And we always like to advise all of our users, the first thing that we want to do is get your public profile set up. Again, just as Rachel was saying, this really is going to be the front door for your clients, and so you really want it to be a very strong impression, really giving off pertinent information that's important to you about your company. So what we'll do is we'll simply just navigate over to our public profile tab on the left side. So the first thing that you're going to see here is a nice little splash page of general questions or frequently asked questions, or helping you really get set up with your public profile. So in the future, if you need a little reference guide, we've got that available for you here. The second tab is where you actually get to start putting in fun information. So we're going to navigate to our public profile tab here. And before we really go through each one of these steps, I do want to show you what Rachel's public profile looks like. Hers is really great. It's a gorgeous little profile here. These are, by the way, searchable on the web. So we could pull up Google, we could search Pickens Construction Online, and that would be one of the first things that pop up there. You guys, what you're seeing is not only information to for her potential clients to be able to access her email or phone number, but then we're also seeing different project galleries. And what we were just showing you a moment ago is where Rachel actually went to Google, and she was able to find herself very quickly and then go straight to her public profile. So you guys can see really how powerful this is. Again, just a mini website. So for those of you, by the way, who do not have a website, this is actually going to be great for you. It can serve as that. Much cheaper than it would be if you were to go and pay someone for this. All of this comes with Construction Online. For those of you that do have a website, though, certainly you can send this over to your team, and they can link this website directly to yours, so your clients have easy access to begin collaborating with you. So we'll hop back in here now to Rachel's account. And the first thing that you'll see will be the ability to choose a layout option. So for those of you whose perhaps your logo is a little bit more square, you'll choose option 1. Perhaps if it's a little bit longer and skinnier, option 2 will be really great for you. You'll also have the ability to upload your own company logo. And again, for those of you, by the way, who don't have a logo at this point, no fear. We certainly have provided you with a few that you can choose from down here. And then whenever you are able to get that updated, certainly this is where you'll come to get that information uploaded. Your banner color is going to be the color that's displayed directly under your header image, and then the background color is going to display directly behind your logo. So if we take a look at that very quickly, we can see here we've got those banner colors as well as that background color too. So you guys can kind of see where those will lie. You'll also want to make sure that you include a lot of pertinent information in terms of your contact, how to get in contact with you. So your phone number, a link to your email address, perhaps your website, as well as a short little blurb about your company, maybe your mission statement, and how you guys got started. This really is your brag page, so you want to take a few moments to input all of that information.
And let me cut in real quick there as well. Something that's just kind of neat about this, when you're including the information about the public information that you want to be available on your public profile, you'll notice that the actual number here is going to be listed to your number, as well as the option to send us an email, which is going to send whatever email address that you have inserted. And then the link to visit your website would take you to the existing website that you have if you have one. So the nice thing about this is that it's going to also, again, serve as kind of a lead generation page. So if you have people who are searching for somebody in their area and they happen across your page, they can actually contact you directly. If they're on their phone, they'll actually be able to call you directly. So the nice thing about Android and iPhones is that they'll recognize numbers, so you could actually click directly on the number from the mobile device and it would actually prompt to call you. So that's kind of the neat little things to consider as well, and why it's important to make sure those are completed.
Exactly. So it's got that link directly there, so they can immediately get in contact with you, really in about 3 different ways, which is awesome. The next thing we really like to make sure that we cover thoroughly is adding your shortcut. So you guys, this is the link that your clients and your team link members will go to whenever they go to log in and access information. So generally, a lot of our users are putting their company name, so we can see that we've got Pickens Construction here. After that, ConstructionOnline.com/profile. So really important to go ahead and get that established. They are first come, first serve. So you really want to make sure that you get in there and that you go ahead and reserve your shortcut. Whenever you add a client, this shortcut's going to be sent in an email so they can very quickly have access to your public profile. So definitely something you want to take a few moments and go ahead and get reserved for your company. Next, you'll have the ability to go in and list any credentials, maybe any awards that you guys have won recently, where you service, making sure that your clients know that, hey, you are not too far away from me, we will come to you. And we all know how powerful client testimonials are, so really want to take a moment and perhaps gather some of those, and those can go on your website. So we can look here at our public profile and see that Rachel's got a little blurb about what some of her clients have said about Pickens Construction and how happy they've been that they went with her. The header image is a little bit below here. This is what's going to go behind your logo. So let me get this pulled up here again. So we've actually provided you with a few that you can choose from. But in the event that you want to upload your own, you certainly can. So keep that in mind. You'll just simply choose add header image, and then it's going to pull one for you. We've got project galleries, which are going to serve very similar to your client testimonials. They're really powerful. So you guys can upload different albums to show past work that you've done, and perhaps some of those that you're most proud of. And really, lastly, the ability to go in and add, associate yourself with different professional organizations, just to add a little bit of credibility to your company, as well as any social media links. We know that everyone is on, it seems like, Facebook or Twitter, so making sure that you go ahead and put those links directly to your public profile will be really important. So again, getting started, this is really one of the first things you'll want to do. Take a little bit of time, because again, it is your brag page, and your clients will be able to very quickly access information for you.
Absolutely. It's also for those of you, again, who are interested in the custom mobile app. I'm just going to bring it up here a little off schedule, but just so that you can kind of see exactly how important this really is. Here, let me bring up the view here we're just going to log in with my iPad mini. So if you'll bring that over to the other screen.
Here we are.
All right, so here we go. You can see that we've got the little Pickens Construction app here that I've just put in one of the folders on my device. So if I click on Pickens Construction, it'll actually load the app. And what it's going to do is actually give an actual login page. Let me log out for a moment so you can see. But look at how beautiful that is. It's going to be completely custom branded. It says nothing about Construction Online. So your clients who are going to receive this app or have the option to download are going to have a nice, easy way to do it. But the importance here that I'm trying to show you is the About Us button. So that's going to be linking directly to your public profile, which is going to be why it's so important to make sure that that looks awesome. So, and you can see how well it fits on that device. I mean, look at how beautiful it scales. Again, you'll notice the things I was talking about earlier, how if I were to click on this, I could actually call that number directly, add to contacts, send a message, whatever I want to do there. So again, just so important to make sure that you take really 20 to 30 minutes. I mean, it's a pretty quick process to be able to upload the data. It's just a matter of having the text that you want. Again, you can see all of my little social media links. They can actually click on those albums and be able to view those pictures. Again, high quality is going to be best in all situations. But again, you can see how easily and responsive that is. So definitely take a moment to make that look really nice for it to work the best.
Exactly, and the good thing about this is also, you guys, that this is completely editable. So as you're going in and you're completing new projects and you want to go in and update, you can just simply come here to your public profile tab. Go ahead and get that information updated, so your existing and potential clients will always really have the most up-to-date information. So this is something that really excites us. We love public profiles and our mini websites. So the next step is going to be to establish exactly what your clients have access to and how they'll be collaborating with you. So the tab that's directly to the right here is our client and team link features. And this is where we'll outline that. So the first block here that we're seeing is says client link features. And this is where Rachel has taken a few moments to decide what do my clients have access to? How can they collaborate with me? So the first thing she's done is actually taken a look at her latest page. She has made available to her clients showing to-dos here. So really what that means is, in the event that she would like to really to be able to add her and perhaps remind her clients that they've got selections coming up or perhaps paperwork that needs to be done, she can add a to-do through her pro features, assign it to her client, and they'll have a nice list there directly in their client link. She also could show project announcements in the event that she wanted to. So if she wanted to kind of get a lot of information out there, she could make that available to her clients as well. Messaging is a really powerful feature that we offer. So her clients can log into their client link, and they can actually receive and send messages directly from their client link to and from Rachel. So it's a huge convenience factor, really keeping everything right there in one place. No losing emails, no, not having to deal with spam. It's really exciting, and we'll actually cover that in a little bit more in a few moments. Having access to recent files and photos, we all know how important that is. So having one central location where Rachel's clients can log in, they can really keep track of how their product is going with some of those progress photos. Being able to have documentation available to them, whether they're using their custom app or they're just logging in through a web browser. In the event that Rachel would like to show her entire project schedule on their calendar view, she can. But if also she's got the ability to only share milestones with her clients, which are going to be important dates like draw dates or pay dates. And again, we'll go over scheduling here in a moment, but just really a click of a button to be able to add that in for your clients. She's also chosen to show delays from project logging, and so that's really important. Our project logs offer the ability to create a weather delay or a custom delay, and so she's allowed her clients to be able to see that. Certainly change orders and selections, that's a fun process, so to speak, of actually finishing up a project, and so we've made that available then to her clients as well. For those of you out there who are enterprise users, we do have requests for information, so RFI is available. In the event that was something you wanted to pull your clients in on, you certainly could, although that may be something that really you might use a little bit more with your team link members. So it takes just a few moments for you to be able to go in and globally define exactly what your clients have access to.
Exactly. So now that we've talked about building that public profile and choosing what your clients, as you add them, will be able to see, let's go ahead and pick up with a project. Now, if you had joined us on Monday's session, we had actually been taking a look at the Murphy residence. So you can see that if I click on projects and files, I'll be looking at a list of all projects, and we're just going to choose the Murphy residence. And kind of pick that up from where we left off on Monday. So at this point, when you go into the project overview, you'll see kind of your own latest, or upcoming calendar events. But what I want to focus on is in the settings tab, which is where you'll be able to adjust the project information and assign your clients. In this top portion, you'll notice that you can update the street address. This street address is going to show up for the client The project cost is going to be something that you'll see again with change orders, as well as the project duration. So using the change order tool especially, you'll want to make sure you include that initial project cost as well as the initial planned project duration.
So really, on Monday, we talked about the 3 different types of people that you'll collaborate with through Construction Online. One, obviously, being your clients who use your client link. So to go in and actually add a client to a project, you'll come here to your settings tab, and then we'll simply go and choose add client here in this clients box, where we'll immediately go in and search for our client's email address. So we'll go ahead and get that put in. Our client today is Jane Murphy. So we'll go ahead and put in her email address, and this is going to search Construction Online's database. We know that Jane does not have a Construction Online account, so now we have the opportunity to go in and quickly input her information. So we'll start with her first and her last name. We can include things like her address. We can include her phone number if we'd like to. And then we also have the ability here to go in and input a password. So this really gives you guys, as the contractors or subcontractors, or whomever your client may be, whoever it is that you're servicing, can contain a little bit more control over their account. So we'll simply go in and input a password and then choose Add Client. And this is immediately going to not only add Jane to this project, but it's also going to send her over an email that's going to provide her with that all-important shortcut that we established a few moments ago. It's going to give her her username, which is always her email address, and then also the password that Rachel's just assigned to Jane. So it's a very simple and quick process to get a client added to a project.
Absolutely. So once you've got your client added to the project, really at that point, we're going to go ahead and look into really kind of giving them information to see. So the first thing we want to take a look at is really sharing information with them or getting them involved with messaging.
Oh, yes, awesome. So we'll hop on over here to our messaging tab, where the first thing that we'll want to do is go ahead and start a new conversation. So in the event that we'd like to perhaps welcome Jane to this project, we'll start with new conversation, where we'll quickly be able to input her name. There's Jane. We'll be able to give this a subject, as well as relate it to a project. And this is a really important process as well, because later in the event that you'd like to come back and you would like to filter perhaps by project or even by her name or subject, you'll want to make sure that you take the time to fill all of these out. So you can very quickly go in and write a message to Jane. In the event that you'd like to attach any files, you can. And then we'll simply choose Post Message. So one of the important things about messaging, by the way, is that, like we mentioned earlier, messaging is going to keep all of your correspondence right here in one place. So there's no losing any emails. You don't have to worry about spam. It's all going to be right here in one place. And then we do have a very powerful filtering option as well that we'll go over here in a moment. But simply attaching a file, sending this over, no worries. It's going to go directly to Jane, where she can actually access this inside her client link. But she'll also receive an email notification letting her know that Rachel has just sent her a message. And so she'll be able to either log into her client link, or she can simply hit reply to that notification. And she'll have the ability to go ahead and reply to Rachel, and it's going to pull it right back here into Construction Online. So it's really a great convenience factor, knowing that your clients don't necessarily have to always log in to be able to very quickly collaborate and correspond with you.
Yeah, but of course, all the information is stored within your project online. So the nice thing about using the messaging, like Amanda talked about, is that you don't have spam you have to worry about. All the messages you see on the left side are going to be the ones that I create. But the nice part about that too, of course, is that it's all going to be within the project. So definitely important, or a great way to keep everything in one place.
That's exactly right. Now, Rachel, it looks like that you have quite a few messages here on the left-hand side. So in the event maybe that Rachel wanted to search messages maybe that I was involved in, for me, she'll go up here to the filter option where she can filter by my name, and then I'll come up as a contact. Now, so we can simply choose my name, and she can see all messages that I have either sent to her, or she's responded to, or she's sent over to me. Really anything that has my name in it. Now, in the event that perhaps we wanted to search for something else, like maybe the Murphy residence or Murphy, we could take a look at that. And now we can see that we've got a list of all contacts that contain the word Murphy. But we also can filter by project as well, which is extremely convenient. So we'll choose Murphy Residence, and then any kind of correspondence or messages that have been sent, all of those will be here for the Murphy Residence. So a pretty powerful feature when you're talking about being able to filter, because we all know how many messages, really how many we can have over a project's duration. You also have the ability to go in and perhaps delete or archive a message as well. So on the right-hand side, you'll see where you can simply choose the message that you'd like to delete or archive, and then choose the action that you'd like, and that will take care of it immediately. You also can go in and add a contact as well. So in the event maybe that Rachel wanted to rope me into a message to Jane, then she could do that. So we'll simply put in my name, and then I'll be added to that conversation as well, so I can always be kept in the loop.
Absolutely. So now let's go ahead and take a look at actually adding files or really starting to share information with our clients. So we're going to go back to the projects and file list. We're going to choose the Murphy Residence. And at the top, again, we'll see those tabs. This time we're going to look at the Files and Images tab. Now you can see that I already have a few different documents, some pictures here. I've got some items that I have online. Now the people who can see the Files and Images tab are the ones that are typically internal to your team. So the nice part here is that your clients can only see what you actually place within your Client Link and Files tab. Uploading files is really easy. It's just a matter of selecting the Upload button and choosing the appropriate destination. So you'll notice that Murphy Residence is already selected. I can also choose to upload to certain subfolders, perhaps. There's a lot of nice organizational kind of options there. But once I'm finished, I can choose Browse to find the correct photo or file or document from my computer. Once those are uploaded, you'll see that you can actually access all of those directly from here. Now, another thing that's really neat about this is the ability to share photos. So what we see a lot of people really use here with Construction Online is the ability to take photos and share those quickly and easily with clients or with anyone on their team, really. So you'll see that I've created this album for progress photos. You can, again, upload photos directly from your computer, or you can also take advantage of the on-site photo app, which is available for your iPhone or Android or tablet. So while you're on the job site, or perhaps you're shopping around and looking at different choices or finish options, or you're at a design center, whatever you might be, download the on-site photo app to your phone, and you can actually take pictures on the go and upload those directly into the Murphy Residence so that they're available for you and waiting for you online for anyone else on your team to view.
And sharing all of these progress photos or some of those different documentation, all of that's extremely easy when in terms of sharing that with your clients. So in the event that we perhaps wanted to share these progress photos with our client, we would simply go and hit the drop down on the right hand side and be able to copy to client link. Where here we actually have a couple of different options. We can make these progress photos visible to all of our clients on this project, or if we have multiple clients on this project, then we can actually make it available to one in particular, to a very specific client. So in this particular case, Jane is the only client that we have, so we'll make these progress photos visible to all of our clients, and we'll simply choose Save. So we can immediately see now we're redirected into our client link files, and we can immediately see exactly what it is that Jane has access to. So again, really it's just as easy as being able to go in, choose copy to client link, outline where you'd like for it to go, and then be able to make that visible to your clients almost immediately. And at any point, by the way, you can go over to their client link files and be able to see exactly what your clients have access to. So there's no guessing game in terms of what they can see.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just the file or the folder level, but it's also, again, the file level. So if you wanted to give them just a certain document within a folder, you'll notice those options are available here as well. So definitely nice ways to quickly share, and it's very clear as to what they can see. So let's see, what about calendar events or meetings and appointments? Construction Online has a great calendar and scheduling tool available. So not only can you kind of track your own internal events, so making sure that you're aware of all meetings and appointments that you have to be at, or keeping track of the construction timeline, but you can also choose to share that information with your clients. Now back in the project overview tab, we have the option to actually click on over to some of those features on the right side. Before I actually jump on into that, I actually have a question here coming through from one of our attendees asking about a way to share a single file with several projects at the same time, and there's not a way to do that at the moment. So If I think in this case you're asking like if there's one file that you wanted to kind of share to several projects at a time, as of right now it's just going to be a one file that you place that into each project separately. So great question though coming through on how to do that. Now let's see, so as far as, let's hop on over to the schedule for just a moment here. So on the right sidebar, we're going to select schedules, where we'll be navigated over to our list of schedules, where we see really our project timeline. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down to our schedule for the Murphy residence. Now to create a new schedule, you'll notice that you can use the big new button at the top and choose a new schedule, or you can import from Microsoft Project. You can also import from Construction Suite. So for those of you who are using our desktop project management software, there's a nice direct integration between those two. Once you've created the schedule, though, you'll want to make sure to assign other editors or viewers on your team. So you'll see the drop down to the right of the schedule, and you'll want to select Edit. Here you can provide or change the name. You can select your editor. So if I wanted Amanda to be able to see or make changes to the schedule, I'd want to be sure to add her as an editor. The only people who can edit are those who are pro users. Otherwise, they can be a viewer where they can see the information, just can't make changes. The related project is important just to make sure that it shows up within your project overview page as well as for the client. So we're going to make sure that it's associated to the Murphy residence. You see the option below that we can actually mark it as a template. So the nice thing about this is that if you are a spec builder or production builder, or perhaps the template or perhaps the schedule for a new job is always very similar, then definitely take advantage of that template option where you can kind of repeat the process or repeat the work you've already taken the time to do. Once you've assigned the right permissions, click on your schedule file and you'll see that it'll take you right to the Gantt view in your schedule, where you can see a list of all of the different tasks from start to finish. And the right side, you'll see the nice chart kind of showing you how the timeline is going to really happen. I've created a very quick schedule for us to take a look at today. So you'll see that we've just got the 3 tasks. One of those is ordering materials. One is to remove the existing flooring, and the second one is to lay the new flooring. So you can see just a quick little option there. Now the thing I really want to highlight or bring to your attention is the option to actually create milestones and share those with your clients, or we'll see how we can actually link them to selections down the road. So this ordering materials task is really important to make sure it gets done, and we're actually going to allow the client to determine the type of floor covering we're going to provide here. So I'm actually going to turn this task into a milestone. Milestones are created by just entering a task with a 0-day duration. So you'll see that all I'm going to do is enter a 0 there, and boom, you'll see that the order materials task turns into a nice big green diamond. Now this is going to be important when we're creating a selection for our clients, because we'll see that we can actually link this to our selection choices. So we've got that taken care of. We've automatically turned it into a milestone, and it's ready to go. We're actually going to come back to the scheduling and focus a little bit on assigning resources and so on Friday's session. So if you're interested in learning more about how to really set up and take advantage of the scheduling portion, be sure to join us on Friday, because we'll go over that in a bit more detail. Now that we've taken a look at creating or kind of adjusting our schedule, we're going to see those changes automatically showing up on our calendar. So if I click on the calendar tab on the top, we'll notice that the calendar gives me a month, day, or week view of all jobs that I have in Construction Online. The calendar is a great way for you to see exactly what you have up and coming. So definitely be sure to check out or use it, take advantage of that calendar. The right-hand side is going to be where you can see the different project calendars, or where you can choose which calendars are actually going to show. So you'll notice that the Murphy residence is a light blue here, so we can see that task show up. Actually, I don't think I have anything within this time frame. Let's adjust my schedule for a moment. We'll push this back. You can see we've got this, let's see, back in June. So we're actually going to shift the entire schedule so it's actually more in this time frame. So to do that, just a quick tool for you there is under the Tools tab, you can actually shift the entire start date, which is important if you are working with a template. So we're going to shift this start date to October 15th. And boom, it's automatically updated. So at this point then, let's go ahead and take a look back at that calendar, where we should now see some light blue showing up on our calendar for the Murphy residence. Oh, well, maybe they're not in that time frame. Anyways, point being, this will show up automatically. So at this point then, let's go ahead and also assign a different task. Perhaps what we'll want to do actually here is assign a time for our client to meet with us. So perhaps this Friday, we're actually going to meet with our client to review some possible selection choices for their hardwood flooring. So I can actually add a meeting. By doing so, I'm just clicking on the day. I can add a meeting. I can provide the time or click advance. Now this is important as far as making sure to assign it to the right project. So here I'm going to make sure that the project associated with this particular task is going to be the Murphy residence. Now, as Amanda mentioned before, we've made the calendar and schedule available to my client, but we want to make sure to actually assign them to this event so that they can see it. Now, this is for your protection so that you can add calendar events for your own internal team without giving your clients full access to your personal calendar. So on the tasks that you wish your client to see, you'll want to make sure to actually assign them as the resource. So we'll go ahead and add Jane Murphy as our resource. The related resources can view only. The assigned resources can edit if they have that ability. Now we'll go ahead and set the time to be a little later in the morning, not so early. So we'll do a 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. We can add any details. And select Add Event. So now that shows up on our calendar for this coming Friday. So at this point, let's go ahead and take a look at how we can start giving them option. We've got this meeting here for Friday, but we need to actually upload and create those selections so that they can review those choices.
So what we'll do first is we'll just navigate then over to our Client Selections tab over here on the left-hand side. And the first thing we'll want to do, as in anything with Construction Online, is make sure that we're operating within the correct project. So we are within the Murphy residence. And I think one good benefit of using our client selections tool, again, is that it's so simple for your client. They can simply log in and they can review any selections that you've provided to them, really making their experience, I think, working with your company really nice and extremely, an easy process and a lot of fun for them. So the first thing that we'll want to do is to go ahead and establish our category. So in our schedule, we had gone ahead and talked about getting in our flooring. So the first thing we'll do is go in and we'll add our new category, and we'll name that then as flooring. So we know that there's several different types of flooring, so we'll start there. And then we'll do our subcategory then as perhaps hardwood flooring. So perhaps we'd like our client Jane to pick out her hardwood flooring for her kitchen. And then our next step is to go ahead and give her a due date. Now, Rachel had pointed out in the schedule that ordering those materials is really going to be dependent upon when Jane had submitted her selections to us for final approval. So what we'd like to do is you can, one, go in and go ahead and create your due date if you'd like, but we want to link this due date to the milestone that's part of Rachel's schedule. So we'll simply go over here to milestone and we'll choose order materials, where we can see now that due date is automatically going to populate for the 15th of October. So this is really a great way to go ahead and get integrated in with your schedule. So then now not only are you and your client on the same page, but really anyone else that's roped into that schedule is as well. We'll also go here, though, and give ourselves an allowance for the kitchen hardwood flooring. So perhaps we've got about $2,000 to work with. We'll put that there. We can add any subcategory notes if we want to, really to help kind of guide our client along. And then once we've established those, then we can just simply choose Add Subcategory. Now, before we can start adding selections, by the way, that is going to be the process. You definitely want to go ahead, outline your category, your subcategory, and now we can start uploading some pretty cool products for our client. So we'll simply go and choose Add New Selection, where we've got a couple of options here. So one, we can go in and enter a selection manually. This is a very straightforward process. You can simply go in and fill out the details here, attach any files. So in the event perhaps that you're working with a vendor that doesn't have a website, maybe you can go in and attach a quote, some images perhaps if you'd like to. So again, very straightforward process, just going in and implementing or inputting all of those details. But we also have a really fun feature as well. It's our selection web picker. So that's your second option here, where you'll simply just choose that, and then we'll hit continue, where we can then actually go in and have the ability to bookmark this add selection. You can see Rachel's actually already got it bookmarked at the top of her screen here. But this will actually allow us to be able to go to any vendor, perhaps, that's got a website. And so today we're actually going to go to our Home Depot here. But we can actually go in, we can review a few different products that we like, and then perhaps we find one that we'd really like to submit over to our clients. So we can choose that product, and then all we've got to do, you guys, is go to Add Selection. We're going to see a nice box pop up on the right-hand side here that you guys can see is automatically importing our price, who the vendor is, a direct link to that item. So it's automatically gonna make your job a lot easier, really. So if you've got someone who's managing your selections, our client selections will make their job so much easier, really, and be able to take care of that for you. You also can go in and if you would like to add in any details, you can do that as well. So if I want to go in and just copy these details, I can simply do that. I can choose as many photos as I'd like to include. And then I also can go to the top. Really, the last thing that there is to do is for us to decide what project is this particular product going to. So we'll choose our Murphy residence. And then we just need to choose a category and a subcategory. So in the event that perhaps we had flooring and tile flooring, then we would be able to differentiate between where this was going. So this is the only one we've got, so we'll choose hardwood flooring here. And then we'll go Add New Selection, where we can confirm that it has been added. And now if we go back into Rachel's Construction Online account and we just do a quick refresh here, you guys can see very quickly that we've got a selection that's already pending for our clients. So we'll go ahead and just add one more selection for our client here. We've already got that bookmark. So by the way, it's already bookmarked, so you don't even have to be logged into Construction Online to be able to go back to a website and perhaps supply your client with as many selections as you'd like. So we'll go ahead, we'll just choose one more selection here. I'll go ahead and put this into our Murphy residence, into that hardwood flooring, and then I'll choose Add New Selection, where I can very quickly see again that we now have a new selection for our client. So now our client will be notified that they've got a selection waiting, and then they'll be able to log in and actually make their selections very quickly.
Absolutely. So, and really the importance here too is that due date. So the nice thing about this is that it's going to automatically notify them a few times. So depending on how far out, we're going to actually send out 3 potential reminder emails. One week before the due date, one that's going to send out 2 weeks before this due date, and then one that's going to send out a month before. So you'll see that it's going to give you that automatic, just quick, simple email reminder for your clients, letting them know that they have that decision. Once the due date passes, they can't make a decision. So if you've decided to go with something, something standard, but they're giving them options to upgrade, then you don't have to worry about making the decision later after the deadline has already been set. Now, if you wanted to come in and edit this information, so like we can see here that right now the pricing that we've got is just for the case pricing, which covers maybe 14 or so or 22 square foot. We can actually click on the item itself and adjust that information as well. Sometimes we have people who are asking, or users who ask, they don't necessarily want to give the price, perhaps they just want to show what they're going to use. You can also have them, you can adjust the quantity perhaps, or you can add, your own total cost. So you can really have control over what's actually included in this price and quantity. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a few in here. Let's see, let's do a few different options here for our selections.
And the cool thing about this being editable is, like Rachel was saying, in the event that you don't want to, perhaps you're adding an overhead or a markup, something of that nature, then you can actually just completely go in and remove the link to the item. So you really do have complete control over what they see, even if you are pulling this information in from perhaps from a website.
Absolutely. You can also choose or upload additional attachments. So you can see that the 2 attached files we already have are the 2 images we pulled from Home Depot's website. We can add additional ones. So perhaps we wanted to draw or include drawings or PDFs or whatever it might be to kind of show them the overall effect. We can attach those here, as well as the item image, or where we can choose the item image and preview those as well. So if I wanted to choose this really small image, or this one obviously, which is a much better image to choose, I can determine which one's going to appear as the default image for my client. Now, a few questions have come in so far asking about some of the selections tools. So I want to take a moment to go over those before moving on to the next thing. One of the questions is asking about taking a selection to multiple subcategories, such as a floor, such as certain floor covering for the kitchen and dining room. And again, it's going to be intentional. You pick the subcategory you want it. However, you can choose however you want to create the subcategory. So you don't have to kind of stick to the same structure that we've got here. We're just giving you an example. Your subcategory could be kitchen flooring, and you could have, or kitchen and dining room or something like that. Or, you can really choose whatever you want to put there. But with the selection tool, it really is so fast. I mean, like Amanda was saying, you don't even have to be logged into Construction Online, and you can click the button twice and choose 2 different locations. So add selection once, and I can choose this subcategory, or if I choose my right project, then I can choose the first subcategory. I can easily go back and just do the second thing as well. So it's very easy, very quick to be able to add that information. On the other hand, we actually had a question asking about a Team Link member uploading the different products for selection as well, which is also possible. So we'll cover a little bit more of that in detail on Friday's session, but the Team Link does have the option to actually allow them to see selections, and you can keep it so that they can only see the selections that they're actually assigned as the vendor for. Or if you give them access to be able to see pricing information, they could potentially upload their own as well. So that's certainly a possibility to work with there. Another great question is asking about templates, or we got another one. Just as I said that, we had another person ask the same question. So yes, absolutely, you can create a template. To do that, it's all going to start from the project. So what you would want to do is actually build, instead of doing it for the Murphy residence, or you could actually take an existing project and copy it. Like the question we have just coming through is just taking, the Murphy residence. Let's just say that we have another custom home that's coming up, and we want to just copy the same kind of selections and then start from there. We can easily do that. Or you could even create a project template that would allow you to actually have your selection templates. So what you would do there is just add a new project, name it as a template, and then let's just take the Murphy residence as an example. In the drop-down menu to the right of the Murphy residence, you're going to see that we have the option to duplicate. If you click on the duplicate option, you're going to be able to do more than selections, which is why we put it in the project, so that you don't have to just copy over selections, but you can actually do a lot more with that and really set up a nice template that's going to work well for you overall. But here you'll notice that you actually can choose to include the client selections. So it's going to just copy whatever you have currently for that project or template, and it's going to copy it into this new project, and here's where you can provide that name. You'll also notice that you can copy additional things like files. So back to the question earlier about having the same file available for all projects. If you have a newsletter or a thank you letter, or perhaps you have a little kind of document that you upload that's going to say, hey, this is an about us kind of thing that you want to make available to all projects for clients, you could actually create that as a part of your project template, and when you copy it over, it'll be ready to go. So there's definitely several ways that you can really take advantage, depending on kind of your use or your kind of interest in getting this as smooth as possible, really. So definitely a few options that I wanted to make sure we covered. So great questions on all of those on how to use that. Now we've taken a look at uploading those 2 selections. Let's take a look now at how we can actually use the change order tool. So we all know how big of a pain change orders can really be, and it's important to make sure that we are recording that information accurately, that we have client approval, so we have it documented that that we're ready to go, that we have everything again in the same project location. So what we'll do here is we'll click on the change orders, we'll select the Murphy residence from our project list, and we'll begin adding a new change order. Let's just say for this particular project that we've chosen to, or that the client is requesting a few additional outlets. So what we can do is actually add, additional outlets as the name. We can add a subtitle perhaps in the kitchen or something like that. Outlets are going to be in the kitchen. We can add a price for those. So that's just going to be the total price for that particular change order. So let's just say it's going to be an extra $500 to do so. We can add a unit, give it a quantity, whatever it might be. Here we can assign resources who are on our team that can edit the change order. Related resources can view these. So perhaps if you have a bookkeeper that needs to basically know when to invoice the clients, you can actually add the bookkeeper or accountant as a related resource. And what will happen here is that when you're actually sending the change order and the client responds, you'll get emails with their response, but the bookkeeper or whoever you've added as a related resource would as well. The change order description can be whatever you want, but often what I see here is that people will include maybe more of a breakdown as to what the change actually includes, what it's going to really involve. You can link to a certain item. So if you were upgrading countertops, or perhaps you wanted to link to the actual outlet, or perhaps whatever it might be, you can actually link directly to a website. Add an additional days. It's just going to take an extra day to do that. You can actually attach any files. So if you have a document or a contract that you want them to sign, a physical document that you want them to sign, you can attach it to ConstructionOnline or to this particular change order. You can add any notes here so you can kind of keep track of the progress perhaps made on that change order. These are going to be visible for the client to see, so keep that in mind. You can insert a timestamp so you can just have that information recorded. And you can also upload any item images. So if you wanted to, again, show off a picture of what that's going to look like or whatever it might be, then you can add or associate those there. Once you add that change order, an email is sent to your client letting them know of that change request. So immediately they'll be notified, and in the email itself, it'll include all of these details with a link to log in and directly make that decision. And Amanda will show you exactly what their experience is going to be like in a moment. The summary tab is really helpful for you because it's going to keep you updated on the total change order value that's been added to your project. So you're going to be able to easily track the original contract cost as well as the additional changes that have been added after the contract has been signed. You'll notice on the right that you've got your pending change order, so the one we just added for $500 is sitting over here waiting to be approved. We'll actually on the left be able to see that the original project cost is as I had entered it when I created the project. If you forgot to do that in the beginning, click edit and it'll take you right there to do so. So again, we can see all that information just ready for us to go, and it's going to give us a running total. So as we add those change orders, you're going to see this list grow, but it's going to always document or have that information available for you on ConstructionOnline with the project.
And I think one common thing that Rachel and I get quite often is what does the client link look like, and what exactly can my clients see, and what does it look like for them? So what we're going to do is actually log in today as Jane Murphy. We're going to log into Rachel's public profile, and so we'll show you exactly what Jane has access to. So today, while we're logging in here, today we've covered how to set up your public profile. We've talked about how to give your clients access to certain features. And then we've also done things like we've sent Jane a message. We've submitted her a couple selections, and a couple of change orders. So immediately now when we log in as Jane here, you can see that it looks quite different from the interface that Rachel sees. It's very clear. It's very professional. It's all branded with Pickens Construction. So there's no ConstructionOnline here. And right when we log in, we can see a couple of different things. We can notice we do have some notifications kind of glaring at us here, so some things that need our attention. But our client also has a latest activity page as well. So in the event that they want to see a nice 1 or 2 week view of the schedule, kind of what's going on for them, they can. Any activities or events that we've assigned them to, as well as any to-dos perhaps that we've given them, and then any recent files or photos that have been uploaded. So they'll have a nice little splash screen here of exactly what's going on, giving them a quick little view. We also can see that we've got a message pending, so your clients can go here very quickly and read the message that Rachel has sent to Jane here and myself. And then all they've got to do is simply click in this box here and be able to respond immediately. Your client, by the way, can also attach files as well. So they can simply choose attach files and be able to pull information then back to Rachel. We'll post a message, and again, Rachel will receive an email notification where she can respond directly to that message from her email client, or she can log back into our ConstructionOnline account and take care of it there as well. Your client also has access to files and images in the event that you've given them that. So we can go to Files here, and there's 2 tabs that are located here at the top. So we've got an All Files tab, which is going to be files that are visible to all clients on the project. But then we also have a Your Files tab, and this is where your clients will go to see information perhaps that you have either shared specifically with them and only them, or any files perhaps that they've uploaded to you. So your clients will have the opportunity to then share information with you as well. We did share some progress photos with Jane, so we can go here to our We're going to log back in here very quickly, but we can go over to that icon for photos and very quickly be able to see a nice gallery view of any photos that Rachel has submitted over to Jane. So throughout the project, all Jane's got to do is just come here and she can continuously be updated with how her project is going and visually see that. Jane is also has a calendar view, so you guys will remember we actually gave her the ability to not only see the schedule, but then also we made the calendar available to her. So we can see a few things here immediately. We can see that we've got a meeting to go over those selections that Rachel has scheduled. We also can see a milestone coming through here. So we had that selection due date, and that was linked in then to the schedule as well. And then we also got the selection due date coming, so no fear, your client will not forget important dates. It's all here for him. So now let's go in and take a look at the change order that we issued, or that Rachel issued. So this is what it would look like for your client. They can very quickly see a nice list of all change orders that are either pending or have been approved. They can go in and actually toggle through each one of these tabs to see any details that Rachel has uploaded for this client. And then Jane here can actually go and either approve or reject. So she really wants these outlets in her kitchen. So we'll choose approve. She'll have one last minute chance to kind of go over those details, hit approve, and then very quickly it's going to be updated not only here but then also in Rachel's account as well. So your client will also have the summary tab too. So now we can see a couple of different things. We've got that initial project cost and how this change order has affected the cost, as well as that time summary. So you and your client both will always really be kept up to date in terms of where you really stand for your budget. Selections is really the same way, you guys. So again, we're just going to get logged back in here very quickly. But the selections is really the same process. So they'll simply choose that icon for selections, and they'll be able to take a look at all the selections that you have uploaded to them. They'll be able to confirm those details, and then they'll make their selection. Now, something else that's really cool that we really like to talk about is that in the event perhaps that our client thinks that Rachel just has really bad taste and they do not like the floors that Rachel has uploaded to them, what we can actually do is they actually can go and add a new selection for approval as well. So they can either enter in the selection manually, perhaps from a vendor showroom, or they can go and install that web picker themselves and be able to submit selections for Rachel to review. She would then be notified and be able to move forward. But here we're going to just go with one of these here at the top. That one looks pretty good to us. Rachel, I think you have great taste. We'll approve that one. So very quickly, we can see that we had two choices, but we can see the one that's been approved here. We've got a nice summary tab, so your client and you both can actually see a list full of all the selections that were made for the project. So you guys can see very quickly that your client really has all the tools that they need to be able to really to communicate and collaborate with you, and how easy it is for them to be able to get in and approve or reject those change orders, making your life a lot simpler. How they can do the same thing with selections, and how you really have a lot of outlets in terms of communicating those due dates, so you can ensure that you're always going to be on time and are really servicing them to the best of your ability.
Absolutely. So now that Amanda's shown you how we can actually do that, of course, all from the website. So of course your clients can do that by logging in on their computer at home or their laptop. But again, with that custom company app, I'm going to show you now what it's going to look like when they log in. So we've got Jane's information. We're just going to hit log in to your account, and she's going to be taken to her project, the Murphy residence. You can see that the look and feel is very similar, so she doesn't have to learn how to use the mobile app. It's very easy. Again, it just shows her a quick update on what's up and coming. If she goes to her messaging tab, she can see the recent message. She can post another one here as well. And we're ready to go. Files are the same way, where she can actually preview all the files. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the progress photos. And here she can use the little drop down menus, and you'll see that she's got the option to preview. She can add a comment as well. So if we click on preview, again, it'll just pull up that nice, beautiful image there that we've uploaded for her. The photos are going to give her the same result, so just a different way to access that information. The calendar gives her that full review, kind of full view, so she can see that full month that we have kind of set aside for her project. She can review all of the change orders, click on the summary tab to see at any moment kind of where she stands with her budget. as well as review the selection. So again, if she's out shopping, or perhaps she's wanting to kind of remember, wait, what was that, color perhaps, or she's looking at pillows for her living room, whatever it might be, she can come back and kind of compare how that's going to look overall. So just a nice way for them to really be able to see it. And it's so professional because it's going to say your information. It's just going to be really impressive for your clients. So your clients are going to have an easy way to log on. The thing that I was attending a conference not too long ago in Australia. And one of the things that we heard there from clients in Australia, as well as over here, was just how much clients or how much end users are wanting to use technology to stay up to date. So the neat thing is that we're hearing this all over the world about clients or people are really just wanting to use technology. They're wanting to use smartphones. They're wanting to use tablets and all of these different devices to kind of keep updated. So with Construction Online and with the Custom Company app, you've got a way to stand out from the competition. You're gonna come to them with this beautiful presentation, with this public profile. You can show them exactly how or what their experience is going to be like working with you as their builder, and they're going to have confidence in knowing that they're going to get the result that they pay for. So definitely something to keep in mind there. The last thing I want to touch on is just the way that, or a quick video that we have available as well. Amanda's done a great job on creating a quick video available on our YouTube page for client links, or for the client link itself. So if you do find your clients kind of jumping on board with this, you can give them a quick little instructional video. But of course, as you've seen today, it's really simple for them to use. They get everything they need in their email, and it's quick and easy for them to log in and see exactly where they need to go. So definitely take advantage of this tool that you have available to you. Thanks so much for attending today, everyone. We've had some great questions here come through from all of our audience attendees. We're so excited to see what you guys do. So we love looking at public profiles. Each time we see a new person join Construction Online and the team here, we love to see what you guys do with your public profiles and just how you use it. So feedback is critical. Let us know exactly how we can help you. Help us to make your life easier, and how we can do better as well. So we thank you so much again for joining, and look forward to seeing you Friday for Team Link.
Yeah, Friday's actually going to be a lot of fun, you guys. We're going to take a look at several other pro features that we didn't cover today, like adding in punch list and creating new to-dos. We'll take a look back at the schedule, and Rachel will show us how we can actually go in and add resources to each one of those tasks. We're also going to cover a feature called Game Plan that we love talking about because it's going to make your life so much easier and save you actually a lot of time. So please be sure to join us. We're excited to see you. Thank you again for joining us today, and you guys have a great afternoon.